Hey everyone, welcome to Recast. We are looking at the series, Finding Your Purpose in this new year. This is the third part of the series. And as part of the series, we are looking at the purpose killers. We looked at why we should have purpose in life. We looked at some great people, men of God, who had a purpose before them and finished it. And we are specifically looking at the life of Christ and how he lived with a purpose and moved with a purpose. And we started looking at certain things that we do in life can ruin our purpose. We call it as purpose killers. The first purpose killer we saw was pleasing people. And we saw how we should not please people but God, and we should let certain unwanted relationship go so that we can please God and live a life of purpose. And second week we saw that we should not give up in the face of setbacks and failures, because setbacks and failures can be a purpose killer. Many people give up in life because they faced setbacks, they faced failures. And God doesn't want you to give up, because your setbacks and failures can be a useful tool. God can use your setbacks and failures to change your course, to keep you in the right path, to achieve your purpose. We saw an example from Paul's life, how God changed his course from preaching to the Jews to the Gentiles, all because of Paul faced a setback. Your setbacks and failures can be a God moment. God can use anything in your life to move you, to align your life according to God's purpose. Today, we are looking at the third purpose killer. The third purpose killer is taking decisions in life because it looks attractive, it looks beneficial. And we are looking at the book of Mark, the specific passage in all these three episodes in this podcast. Very early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed. Simon and his companions went to look for him, and when they found him, they exclaimed, "Everyone is looking for you." Jesus replied, "Let us go somewhere else, to the nearby villages, so I can preach there also. That is why I have come." So he traveled throughout Galilee, preaching in the synagogue and driving out demons. Jesus had a strong purpose before him. He said, "That is why I have come." He moved with purpose. Every decision he took was based on a purpose. He didn't try to please people. Even in this passage and everywhere else he went, he didn't try to please people. He tried to please God. He faced setbacks. That never stopped him from preaching in different regions. We looked at the life of Lazarus and how Jesus faced a setback in Bethlehem, and then he went again to raise Lazarus from dead. And in this passage, Jesus could have decided to stay in Capernaum because everyone was looking for him. If Jesus was all about fame and power, he would have stayed in Capernaum because people were looking for him. And it looks highly attractive and beneficial. See, you don't take decisions in life because it is highly beneficial or profitable to you. You take decisions because you need to ask the question whether it is in alignment with God's purpose for your life. Rick Warren starts his book, Purpose Driven Life, with this statement: the purpose of your life is not you, but God. See, if you understand this truth, you don't need to hear another sermon on purpose. It's never about you. This life you have is not about you, and this life I have is not about me. It's all about God. It's all about fulfilling God's purpose. And Lot is a perfect example how we should not take decisions in life. Lot and his uncle Abraham entered an agreement to part company, because there were some argument between Abraham's herdsmen and Lot's herdsmen, because they grew very big, and there were a lot of people, a lot of cattle. And Abraham said to Lot, let's not have quarreling between you and me, and between your herders and mine, for we are close relatives. It's not the whole land before you. Let's part company. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. If you go to this side, I'll go to that side. So Abraham gave a free will, free choice. He was such a gentleman. He gave the first option to Lot to choose a decision. The Bible says Lot looked around and saw that the whole plain of Jordan towards Zoar was well watered, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose for himself the whole plain of Jordan and set out toward the east. And the place that he chose was Sodom and Gomorrah, where the Lord ended up destroying it because of its evil and very greedy place. And to Lot, that place looked like the garden of the Lord. See how he took a decision to go to that place. He saw and he thought, wow, that looks like garden of the Lord. That looks like very profitable, very attractive. And so he chose to go to that place. And how many men and women of God have fallen out of purpose, have fallen out of ministry, have lost their reputation because they thought it's an attractive decision. They thought it's a beautiful decision, it's a profitable decision, it's a beneficial decision. See, you don't take decision in life because it's beneficial to you. You need to put God's purpose for you before you take any decision. When Christ was tempted in the desert, the devil took him up and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time and said to him, "To you I will give all this authority and their glory, for it has been delivered to me, and I will give it to whom I will." And he asked for one thing, to fall and worship the devil. See, Christ could have taken the devil's offer because it was attractive and it so-called achieves the goal why he came. But Christ knew the real purpose, the real mission. He came to redeem the world from the power of sin and the power of the devil. John says Christ appeared to destroy devil's work. Christ had a mission to go to the cross, and he never wavered from that purpose. Christ knew his purpose and mission was different. He came to defeat the enemy and not to make alliance with the enemy. Don't take decisions because it looks attractive or beneficial. It can ruin your purpose, and that's how the enemy tries to trick you and trip you and ruin your purpose, because he will give all this attractive offers. If you remember the Chronicles of Narnia movie, Edmund was given a Turkish delight by the White Witch. That Turkish delight lured him to that castle, and he became a prisoner. The devil always offers this Turkish delight, attractive offers, beneficial and profitable offers, which will ruin your purpose. Maybe you're thinking of moving to a different job or moving to a different location because the offer you got is attractive or beneficial for you. You need to ask a question: is it in accordance to God's purpose for me? Many people put their salary or pleasure or happiness before they take any decisions, any major decisions. But we need to learn to put our life's purpose before you and before me, before taking any major decisions. Don't ruin your marriage. Don't ruin your family. Don't ruin your finances by taking decisions that look attractive, that look beneficial. What seems attractive may not be in line with God's purpose. What seems attractive and beneficial may not be from God, it may be from the enemy. Ask whether the decisions you're taking will help you to fulfill God's purpose for you. What seems like a good decision may not necessarily be a godly decision. And looking at Genesis, Adam and Eve, look what they did. When the woman saw that the tree was good for food and it was delight to the eyes, that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took its fruit and ate. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate. See, Adam and Eve decided to eat that fruit because it was delightful to the eyes. It was good, but not necessarily godly. It was good for food, but not necessarily godly. It was a delight to the eyes, but not necessarily a delight for your soul. He took a decision because it was a delight to the eyes, and he ruined the whole purpose God had for him. He ruined the whole purpose God had for this mankind. But talking about Christ, look at Paul referred Christ as the last Adam. Look at what Paul says. Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped, but emptied himself by taking the form of a servant, being born in the likeness of man, and being found in human form. He humbled himself by being obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. That's called living for a purpose. Christ came to die, and he didn't get distracted from his mission and purpose. He was in the form of God, but he did not count equality with God a thing to be grasped. It was attractive, but that's not his purpose. His purpose was to lay down his life for you and me, and he came and he saw and he laid down his life and he died for you and me. He lived a life of purpose. He stuck to his purpose and mission, and he finished the purpose on the cross. The writer of Hebrews said, "Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." Christ, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross. And the writer of Hebrews is asking us to run with endurance. We need to run with endurance. Keep your eyes fixed on Christ. We should never get distracted in life. We should never lose the purpose of our life. Run the race without getting distracted. Run the race without getting discouraged. Run with endurance. Don't ruin the purpose of your life. Don't ruin the purpose of your life by taking decisions that are not in line with God's purpose. Don't take decision because it looks attractive or beneficial to you. We need to wake up with a purpose. We need to live for a purpose and die for a purpose. Your life is precious. God has made you for a purpose. Let's make sure you and I live for that purpose that Christ took hold of us. Christ took hold of us for a purpose, and make sure we finish that purpose. For the joy set before him, Christ endured the cross. Christ set his eyes on you. You were the joy of Christ, and I was the joy of Christ when he hung on that cross. He endured that cross thinking about you and me. And we need to learn to endure our own cross for the purpose set before you and me. God has set a purpose for you and me. Let's keep our eyes fixed on that purpose and endure our own cross. That's why Christ said, if anyone should come after me, he should take up his own cross and follow me. We need to keep our eyes fixed on Jesus, looking at Jesus, and endure the cross and finish the race. Don't get distracted. Let's make sure you and I finish the race just like Christ finished, without wavering, without getting distracted, without ruining the purpose. Let's not be like Lot or the first Adam. People who ruin the purpose by taking decisions because it looked attractive. No, we have to take a decision in life keeping our purpose before us, keeping our eyes fixed on Christ. I hope that's an encouragement for you. Thanks for watching, and God bless.